I bet you have a bottle of apple cider vinegar sitting in your pantry right now. And if you're like most people, the last time you opened it was to splash some on a salad. But what's inside that bottle, that cheap brown liquid that costs about $5 at Walmart, can replace over $600 worth of specialty products that are currently cluttering up your kitchen cabinets and your laundry room. The brands that make those products know exactly what apple cider vinegar can do. They just hope you never find out, because the moment you do, you'll stop buying half of what's under your sink. So today, we are counting down 19 benefits of apple cider vinegar that most people have completely forgotten about. And I want you to stay with me all the way to number 1, because that is the one that has been quietly draining American families of hundreds of dollars every single year on something they do not need to buy. Number 19, the produce wash that actually works. Most people rinse their fruit and vegetables under the tap and call it done. But here's the problem. A quick rinse with plain water barely touches the wax coatings, the bacteria, or the surface residue sitting on your produce. That is why your berries go bad in 2 days and your leafy greens wilt before the week is out. Your grandmothers did not just rinse and hope for the best. They knew how to actually clean their food. So mix 1 part apple cider vinegar with 3 parts water in a bowl or a clean sink, and let your produce soak for about 2 minutes before rinsing. The acetic acid in the vinegar strips the surface bacteria and fungi that accelerate spoilage. You will see a difference in how long your food lasts within the first week. The average American household throws away over $1,500 in food every single year. Just extending the life of your produce by 2 or 3 extra days puts a significant chunk of that money right back in your pocket. Number 18, the fruit fly trap that costs 50 cents. They show up out of nowhere in the summer. One day your kitchen is fine, and the next day there is a cloud of fruit flies hovering over your fruit bowl. Most people spend $8 to $15 on those little commercial traps that you hang up or set on the counter. Here is what those traps contain: a small amount of fermented liquid that lures the flies in. That is it. So skip the middleman, pour a small amount of apple cider vinegar into a jar or a cup, add 3 drops of dish soap, and set it near where you're seeing them. The fermented apple scent is exactly what draws fruit flies in because it smells like rotting fruit, which is their breeding ground. The soap breaks the surface tension so they sink the moment they land. 1 jar, 50 cents worth of apple cider vinegar, and your fruit fly problem is handled. That is $30 to $50 a year you keep in your wallet just by using what is already in your pantry. Number 17, the shoe deodorizer your grandparents swore by. Work boots, gym sneakers, kids' shoes, they all eventually start to smell like something you do not want inside your house. Most people reach for those expensive sprays at the pharmacy. Odor eaters, Dr. Scholl's, the fancy athletic sprays, they run $6 to $12 a bottle, and all they do is layer a chemical perfume over the actual source of the smell. The smell comes from bacteria that thrive in the warm, dark interior of a shoe. So here is the fix. Fill a small spray bottle with equal parts apple cider vinegar and water. Lightly mist the inside of each shoe and let them air dry completely overnight. The acidity kills the odor-causing bacteria at the source instead of covering it up. By the morning, the vinegar smell is gone, and so is the funk. For a busy household with multiple pairs of shoes going through sports practice and school every week, this swap saves $50 to $80 a year on products you simply do not need to buy. Number 16, the refrigerator fix that replaces those little boxes. We have all seen the orange box of baking soda in the back of the fridge, and most of us have probably forgotten it was in there for 6 months past when it stopped working. But before you even get to odor absorption, the real problem is the bacteria on the interior surfaces of your fridge itself. So once a month, take everything out and wipe down the shelves and walls with undiluted apple cider vinegar on a cloth. It kills the bacteria that cause the mystery smells, neutralizes odor at the source, and leaves your refrigerator actually clean rather than just masked. If you have been buying Arm & Hammer fridge packs at $4 to $6 each and replacing them monthly the way the package says, you are spending $50 to $70 a year on a product that treats the symptom and not the cause. 1 bottle of apple cider vinegar handles this for pennies. Number 15, getting rid of shower mildew for good. Most people grab the bleach the second they see mildew in the shower. And here's what the cleaning companies do not want you to know about bleach. It is an oxidizer, but it is a lazy one. It is excellent at pulling the color out of mold so the surface looks clean, but it does not always kill what is underneath. 2 weeks later, that same patch of mildew is back, and you are going through another bottle. Your grandparents did not have a cabinet full of specialty mold sprays. They used what worked. Spray undiluted apple cider vinegar directly onto mildew and let it sit for 15 to 30 minutes before scrubbing and rinsing. For lighter buildup, a 50-50 mix with water is enough. The acetic acid breaks down the mildew at the root instead of just discoloring it. Tilex mold and mildew remover runs $5 to $8 a bottle. Most households go through 5 or 6 a year in a bathroom that gets regular moisture. That is $40 to $70 saved just by switching to what already works. Number 14, the weed killer that does not put chemicals near your kids and pets. Walk down the garden aisle at any hardware store, and the warning labels on those commercial weed killers will make you stop and read. Most homeowners use them in driveways, patios, and walkway cracks, exactly where children and pets spend their time. Here is the alternative. Mix half a gallon of apple cider vinegar with a quarter cup of salt and half a teaspoon of dish soap in a spray bottle. Spray directly onto the weeds growing in your driveway cracks, your patio grout lines, or along your fence. One important thing to know, this works best on hard surfaces where nothing else is growing because it will kill whatever it touches. But for pavement and patio weeds, it is one of the most effective natural treatments you can use. Commercial weed killers like Roundup run $15 to $25 per bottle. This ACV mix costs under $3 to make. For a homeowner treating driveways and paths regularly through spring and summer, that is $80 to $120 saved every single year. Number 13, the meat tenderizer hiding in your pantry. Cheaper cuts of meat, chuck roast, round steak, chicken thighs, they get a bad reputation for being tough and chewy, and most people either avoid them or reach for a packet of commercial meat tenderizer. But before any of those powders existed, the fix was already in every kitchen. Add apple cider vinegar to your marinade for any meat you are about to cook. Just a few tablespoons is enough. The acetic acid begins breaking down the muscle proteins within 30 to 60 minutes, producing noticeably more tender, juicy meat from cuts that would otherwise be tough. Our grandparents stretched every food budget they had, and tough cuts marinated in vinegar were on the table every week. Commercial meat tenderizers run $4 to $6. If your family cooks meat 4 or 5 times a week, and you are buying specialty tenderizer or skipping budget cuts because of texture, this swap saves you $30 to $50 a year and starts making affordable cuts genuinely enjoyable. Number 12, keeping your dog's ears clean without the vet bill. Dog owners know this expense well. Commercial pet ear cleaners run $10 to $15 a bottle, and dogs that are prone to ear buildup and odor go through them fast. Here's the home version that works for routine maintenance. Mix equal parts apple cider vinegar and water, dampen a cotton ball with the solution, and gently wipe the visible inner surface of your dog's ear. The combination cleans and deodorizes without the alcohol that many commercial products contain, which can irritate sensitive skin. Now, this is for routine cleaning only. If you see redness, discharge, or smell something that is not just dirt, that needs a veterinarian. But for regular, weekly ear maintenance on a healthy dog, this swap keeps your pet's ears clean and saves $50 to $80 a year on products you do not need. Your dog's ears stay healthy, and your wallet stays intact. Number 11, the streak-free glass cleaner you already own. Standard blue glass cleaners. You know the ones. They often leave a waxy film that causes streaks the next time sunlight hits your windows or mirrors. Most households go through 4 to 6 bottles of glass cleaner a year between windows, mirrors, and glass surfaces. So here's what actually works better. Mix equal parts apple cider vinegar and water in a spray bottle. Spray it on, and wipe with a microfiber cloth. It cuts through the oils and fingerprints without leaving any residue behind. Your mirrors will be clearer than they have ever been, and your windows will stay streak-free longer. That is $40 to $60 a year on Windex and glass cleaner that you simply stop buying. And we are not even halfway through this list yet. All right, we are halfway through, and we have already replaced 11 products sitting under your sink right now. But the next 8 mile, this is where the real savings live. These are the uses that have been hidden behind fancy labels and expensive specialty products for decades. And I told you at the start, number 1 has been quietly costing American families hundreds of dollars a year on something they never had to buy. We are getting close. Stay with me. Number 10, unclogging and deodorizing your drains without chemicals. Slow drains and drain odors are the kind of problem most people solve by reaching for a bottle of Drano or a chemical drain deodorizer. But those products are full of compounds harsh enough to corrode your pipes over time. And at $7 to $10 a bottle, you are spending $60 to $80 a year on something that is doing long-term damage. Here is the fix that has been around for generations. Pour half a cup of baking soda down the drain, then follow it immediately with 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. Let it fizz for 15 minutes. That reaction is physically scrubbing the biofilm and bacteria off the inside of your pipes. Then flush with hot water. It deodorizes and clears light buildup in one pass. Do this once a month and your drains stay clear and smell-free without a single drop of harsh chemicals. Number 9, replacing your dishwasher rinse aid. If your glasses come out of the dishwasher looking cloudy, or your dishes still feel wet when you open the door, that is a rinse aid problem. Finish jet dry, and similar products run $6 to $10 per bottle and need to be refilled every few weeks for a busy household. But the mechanism behind rinse aid is simple. It reduces surface tension so water sheets off dishes instead of pooling and leaving spots. Apple cider vinegar does the exact same thing. Pour 1 cup into the bottom of your dishwasher before running a cycle. Your dishes will come out cleaner, drier, and spot-free. Families who run their dishwasher daily and refill rinse aid regularly spend $50 to $75 a year on it. That is money that stops leaving your house the moment you start using what is already in your pantry. Number 8, polishing your stainless steel appliances. That fingerprint-covered, dull-looking stainless steel refrigerator or dishwasher, you have probably bought a specialty polish for it. Wyman, Barkeeper's Friend, the store brand stainless sprays. They run $6 to $10 and you go through more than a few a year. Here's what your grandmother would have told you. Dampen a microfiber cloth with equal parts apple cider vinegar and water and wipe along the grain of the stainless steel. It lifts the fingerprints, cuts through the water spots, and leaves the surface genuinely clean rather than just coated. No streaks, no residue, no chemical smell left behind. It takes about 2 minutes and costs pennies. That is $40 to $60 a year in specialty appliance cleaners that you stop buying, starting with the very next time your fridge looks like a fingerprint museum. Number 7, keeping your cut flowers alive twice as long. You spend $10, $20, sometimes $30 on a fresh bouquet, and within 3 days, half of them are drooping. The problem is not the flowers. The problem is the bacteria growing in the vase water that clogs the stems and cuts off their water supply. Your grandparents grew up in a time when fresh flowers were a real luxury, and they knew exactly how to make them last. Add 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and 2 tablespoons of sugar to the vase water. Change this mixture every 2 to 3 days. The vinegar slows bacteria growth and the sugar feeds the stems. Flowers that would have lasted 4 days will easily make it to 8 or 10. For a household that buys fresh flowers regularly, extending that life means buying replacements half as often. Over the course of a year, that saves $50 to $100 simply by changing what goes into the water. Number 6, descaling your coffee maker so it lasts for years. If your coffee has started tasting bitter or weak, and your machine is brewing slower than it used to, that is mineral buildup inside the tubes and heating element. Commercial descaling tablets and solutions, like the Active brand or Keurig's descaling liquid, run $15 to $20, and you are supposed to use them monthly. Most people never do because they forget they exist. But here is what actually works and costs almost nothing. Fill the reservoir with equal parts apple cider vinegar and water, run a full brew cycle, then run 2 full cycles of plain water to rinse. That is it. The acetic acid dissolves the calcium and mineral deposits that slow your machine down and ruin the flavor of your coffee. Do this once a month, and your coffee maker will last years longer than it otherwise would. That is $80 to $100 a year in commercial descaling products, replaced by the bottle already sitting in your kitchen. Number 5, soothing sunburn and insect bites without the pharmacy. Summer means sunburned shoulders and bug bites, and most households keep solar cane spray, hydrocortisone cream, and itch relief gel on hand all season. Those products run $5 to $12 each, and between sunburn relief and bite cream, a family with kids outdoors all summer spends $40 to $60 without thinking about it. Here's the old school fix that works just as well. Mix 1 part apple cider vinegar with 2 parts water. Apply the diluted solution to sunburned skin with a soft cloth or spray it on directly. It restores the skin's pH balance and reduces the heat and itching almost immediately. For bug bites, dab the diluted solution on with a cotton ball. The acidity neutralizes the irritant compounds and takes the edge off the itch fast. Use it diluted and never straight on broken or very sensitive skin. This was in every medicine cabinet before the pharmacy brands convinced us we needed a different colored bottle for every symptom. Number 4, replacing your hair conditioner. This is the one that surprises people the most, and it is also the one that has been keeping the hair care industry very happy for a very long time. A good bottle of conditioner runs $6 to $10, and households with multiple people washing their hair multiple times a week go through bottles fast. Here's what they do not want you to know. Mix 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar into 1 cup of water. After shampooing, pour this through your hair, work it through, and leave it for 2 to 3 minutes before rinsing. The acidity, ACV, has a pH of around $3, closes the hair cuticle the same way conditioner does, leaving hair smooth, shiny, and significantly easier to manage. It also clears out the product buildup that commercial conditioners actually leave behind. Your grandmothers had beautiful, healthy hair, and they never bought a single bottle of Pantene. This is why. For a household switching even partially to an ACV rinse, the savings run $100 or more every single year. Number 3, replacing your fabric softener completely. If you are still buying Downy or Bounce liquid, this one is going to sting a little, because you have been spending $12 to $15 every few weeks on a product that does something that apple cider vinegar does better, and for pennies. Here is how it works. Add half a cup of apple cider vinegar to the fabric softener compartment of your washing machine, or pour it directly into the rinse cycle. It strips the detergent residue that builds up in your clothing fibers over time, leaving them genuinely soft rather than just coated with a chemical softening agent. Your towels will be more absorbent, your clothes will last longer. And here's the part that matters most for families with sensitive skin: no synthetic fragrance, no chemical residue sitting against your skin all day. Fabric softener coats your clothes. Apple cider vinegar actually cleans them. A household doing laundry 4 times a week and buying fabric softener regularly spends $120 to $180 a year on it. That stops the day you make the switch. Same softness, same fresh smell, not a single dollar wasted. Number 2, your all-purpose kitchen cleaner. Look under your kitchen sink right now. There is almost certainly a bottle of Lysol, a bottle of Method, a bottle of some citrus multi-surface spray that smells nice and costs $8 and does not last nearly as long as it should. Here's the truth: those brands have built an entire marketing industry to keep you from figuring out. The active ingredient doing the cleaning work in most of those products is acetic acid. That is the same compound that makes apple cider vinegar work. Your great-grandmothers cleaned entire kitchens, counters, appliances, cabinet fronts, stove tops with a cloth dampened in vinegar and water. No specialty bottles, no branded labels, no $8 miracle sprays. Mix equal parts apple cider vinegar and water in a reusable spray bottle. Wipe down your counters, your appliances, your cabinet handles, your stovetop. It is antibacterial, it cuts through grease, and it leaves surfaces genuinely clean without any toxic residue your family is touching all day. A household that buys 2 or 3 bottles of multi-surface cleaner a month spends over $300 a year on it. That entire line item disappears the moment you start using what is already in your pantry. And now we are at the one I told you about at the very beginning. But before we get there, if this kind of straight practical advice is what you have been looking for, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notifications, because this is what we do here every single week. Finding the real fixes, cutting through the marketing, and keeping money where it belongs, in your pocket. All right, let's get to number 1. Number 1, the laundry stain pre-treater. This is the one. Americans spend $2.5 billion every single year on laundry stain products. Spray and wash, Shout, OxyClean spray, all of it. And every single year, people throw out perfectly good shirts, white shirts with yellowed underarms, collared shirts with that gray ring around the neck, workout clothes with deodorant buildup that never seems to wash out no matter how many times they go through the machine. Those stains are not permanent, and you do not need a $7 specialty spray to remove them. You never did. Here's what actually works, and what your grandmother knew before any of those brands existed. Spray undiluted apple cider vinegar directly onto sweat stains, deodorant marks, and collar rings before you wash. Let it sit for 10 minutes. Then run the load as normal. The acetic acid breaks down the protein and mineral deposits in those stains, the exact compounds that regular detergent alone cannot touch, and they lift out in the wash. Clothes that you thought were ruined come out looking new again. Think about every shirt you have thrown away in the last 5 years, because the underarms turned yellow or the collar turned gray. Those did not need to go in the trash. They needed 10 minutes and a bottle that costs $5. A household that buys stain spray twice a month and occasionally replaces stained clothing that did not need replacing spends $120 to $200 a year on this problem. That ends today. 1 bottle of apple cider vinegar, 1 spray before the wash. Problem solved for pennies. 1 bottle, $5, 19 uses, and over $600 in products you no longer need to buy. From the fruit bowl to the laundry room, from the shower to the driveway, from your dog's ears to your coffee maker, this 1 bottle has been sitting in your pantry doing almost nothing while you spent money at the store on products that were solving the exact same problems. So here's my question for you today. Which one of these surprised you the most? Was it the fabric softener, the hair rinse, or was number 1 the one that made you look at that bottle completely differently? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one of them, and I love hearing which ones you're going to try first. And if you have a use for apple cider vinegar that I did not cover today, share it down there. This community knows things, and I learn something new every single week from you. YouTube thinks you are going to love this one next, so go ahead and check it out, and I will see you in the next episode.